we are all mourning the passing of Congressman Sylvester Turner, and I'm wondering how you received the news about his death.
When I first heard about it, I think I was in complete denial. I kept asking people to please double check, please confirm, because I didn't want it to be true. When I was on the floor earlier, I told our members that I'm just simply devastated by this, and I'm feeling very numb right now. Not just for the loss of, I think, someone who was a great colleague in the House, not just someone who was a great mayor and represented our communities well, but Sylvester was my friend, and more than my friend, he was my mentor, he was my advisor, and frankly, even before I became a state representative, before I got elected, he was one of my heroes, and he still is one of my heroes. Even before I went into the legislature, I knew his name, because if you fight for people who are poor, you fight for people who are working class people, you fight for people who have nothing and who get stepped on, his name is the name that comes up when people ask who defends these communities, who protects them. His name always comes up. And when I was in the legislature, we saw that time and time and time again, where he would go to battle and fight for the people who had the least voice, who had the least power and absolutely no money. And that's why he's my hero. And I'm very, very grateful that I was able to spend any amount of time with him, because he is such a wonderful, loving, and caring person, and someone who, if I tell people if people ask me who want to run for office, who want to be in public life, they ask me, why should you do it? I would point to him as like, be like Sylvester, be him, be like, run because you love your community and you love the people there, and you want them to do better. You want them to be safe and to have a great future. And you will fight every single day to make sure that happens. And I hope that Sylvester lives in our memories as a reminder of what public service truly looks like, of what being a selfless and dedicated public servant looks like. He was a man who was few and far between like him, and I'm frankly just honored to have known him in my life, and I think the entire state of Texas, if not the whole nation, is going to feel his loss.
State Representative Wu, can you give us a sense of the mood up in Austin right now? As you mentioned, he served there for so many years, very well known among legislators. So what's the mood as this news broke early this morning?
I think especially among members who have served here for a long time, who had the privilege of serving with him before he became mayor, this news is just, it's simply heartbreaking because we all knew what kind of person he was, and the dedication that he put into all the jobs that he did in public service. And I mean, for example, for me, I mean, it wasn't just about that. I mean, he was so helpful. He was so nice to everyone, and even as a long-time veteran member, he never hesitated one time when people would go up to him and say, "Would you help me with this? Could you answer these questions? Could you help me understand what's going on, how to work on this?" One of my favorite pictures I have hanging in my office is the picture of us from the first session where I sat at his desk. I remember this exact moment, even though I didn't know they were taking the picture, but I sat next to him for like 30 minutes, just walking over a bill that I was working on. And he very patiently just answered dumb freshman question after dumb freshman question, and helped me work it out. And, just it is not often that we have people like that.
Sylvester Turner really was a wonderful example, taught others through setting setting an example and conducting himself at the highest levels. Is there something, Representative Wu, that he taught you about his life in public service?
I think one of the important lessons he taught me was how to work things in the legislature and how to use leverage and how to argue and negotiate with people in a nice way. And he was always somebody who, he would yell about stuff on the public mic, but then he would go into the back hallways and work out deals, and take care of the things that needed taken care of. And we would go into the budget negotiations, and like there's no money for this or that people really need, and we're doomed and nothing's how we're going to fix this and everything. And then Sylvester walked out of the room and says, we took care of it. And that's all he needed to do. He took care of it. And he taught me how to go to those back rooms and work with people and talk with them and convince them that what you wanted was what they needed to do. I'll always be grateful for that.